Hey, folks, thanks for tuning into the BAMF podcast. I am your host, Mike Lafferty, and I love seeing John move his thing to our sound, our theme music. This is a Savage World-centric podcast. Hey, we have an audience. Hey, guys, please feel free to post up in the comments with any questions. We're talking to John Gibbons and Sean Nokes, the creators of The After. And of course, The After is really John's baby, but Sean is the author who put his words with John's art. And guys, good to have you. It's been a while since we've done an After podcast.
I know. Far
It's been a hot minute. Yeah,
far too long.
And we're gathered here today because we are running a Kickstarter for a new plot point campaign and series of adventures for The After called Tales from the Trail Volume 2.
Volume 2.
And look at that T-Rex chasing those dinosaurs. T-Rex chasing those cowboys. How about
Absolutely. That? Why not? Everyone loves a dinosaur and cowboy action, so you know.
Yeah, that's some hot dinosaur and cowboy action right there.
It's going to be the next Jurassic Park sequel. Just so you watch.
So let's dive into it while I scroll past and look at some of the artwork. Sean, can you tell us how has the meta plot for The After advanced for Tales from the Trail 2?
Yeah, I didn't want to throw too many spoilers out there, but
no, but you might have to, Sean.
I might have to. Okay, so one of the things we wanted to do with this product as a plot point campaign is up to this point we have had very episodic, disconnected adventures, right? Things where you get to go explore places, you bump into weird creatures, but in terms of meta plot, not a lot has happened, and that's going to change in this book. The idea I had with this plot point campaign is to really shake up Wind River Valley. The very map might change. Things are going to be different after you run this plot point campaign, and one of the things that I really wanted to lean on is all of our folks that are interested in Tales from the Trail Volume 2 have probably been with us for a while. Maybe they've been running this campaign for a while. This one is made for higher power level characters. It should be good for your veteran and above guys to actually make a difference in the world, to have player choices matter. Instead of just showing up for the adventure, fighting whatever the monster of the day is, this plot point campaign is going to have different paths based on player choices. And the end state of the Wind River Valley is really going to depend on whether they succeed or fail.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah. So I think when Sean suggested we want a plot point campaign, which is something which people have been asking us from day one when the original After was on Kickstarter, have you got a plot point campaign? But at the time we decided not to, but then we've heard so many people asking for it. We thought, what the hell? But we wanted to make sure that the Tales from the Trail was still a series of adventures. So there is a big plot point campaign in there written by Sean, but there's a couple of other adventures which still are linked somewhat to the plot point campaign. Isn't that right, Sean? Because we wanted to make sure that it was all merging together somehow. So the other two adventures written by Aid and Cameron, although they might not be exactly on par with Sean's plot point campaign and what's going on, they all are linked somehow, or they've all got things which are happening due to the plot point campaign that Sean's written, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, they're linked into the events of the campaign, but not so solidly that you couldn't run them on their own if you wanted to. And that's true for everything in the book. If you decide that you want more After material but don't want to run the events we've got, there are still going to be things you can use in your game. Creatures and items and maybe a new playable race. Things like that.
Yeah, maybe. And there's a little bit of art which also sneaks at that a bit as well on the Kickstarter page. So, yeah, there we go. So, yeah. Everyone likes the potential of more playable races. So, but it might not happen though. Isn't that right, Sean? It might go the other way.
Oh, that's true. Remember what I said about player choices. There are some big choices coming, specifically for your group of heroes in this plot point campaign. You see those guys in the art? What are you going to make of them? How are you going to make contact with them? What's going to happen? There are some big changes coming to Wind River Valley, and these guys are at the forefront of it.
Yeah, because I think we always, when we originally started the After and we set it within Wind River, there was always that potential of expanding beyond. And I think with the plot point campaign that Sean's done is if it goes, shall we say, wrong, and without, do you know what I mean? If it kind of goes wrong, well then maybe the Wind River region is not where you probably want to carry on with the After. Yeah, I don't know, So
hopefully you don't have to relocate your campaign to Denver, but it's
maybe
not impossible.
Yeah. And we are still really interested in bringing content for the After to our fans, and this is not going to be the second or final volume of Tales from the Trail. And again, there's always the potential, if the interest is still there, of going one step further and taking us outside of Wind River or Wyoming completely, or even maybe the US completely. Who knows?
Yeah, we have had some speculations about what's happening over in the Green and Pleasant Isle during this time frame.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows?
Indeed. So, all right. So good stuff. Kickstarter is going strong. We just cracked $2,000 last night. Less than 500 to goal with 17 days left. So we're definitely going to make it. At this point, we're just how many stretch goals are we going to unlock?
Yeah.
So
yeah, it would be nice to sort of push it beyond what is needed.
So do we want to read the descriptions of Aids and Cameron's adventures, you think?
Yeah, why not? Why not? Yeah, go on. Go on,
right.
Mike. I'll let you do your narration voice.
Engaging Morgan Freeman Road now. The Bones, written by Aid Smith. The player characters are asked to travel to the far east of Chapter, to the small settlement of Tombstone within the Bones, a breach-charged valley named after the remains of strange and huge bones that can be found within. The leaders of Tombstone believe that they discovered a secret that allows them to manufacture gunpowder and explosives from the breach-altered bones, but they don't have the technology or expertise to do so. But the player character's benefactor does. They're asked to travel to Tombstone, talk to the elders, and arrange for a trade or collaboration to develop the bones as weapons. Unknown to the player characters, an ancient ghost remnant has been activated within the valley, creating a bubble of time that touches upon multiple time zones. The only way the player characters are able to shut down the device is to kill a Tyrannosaurus Rex that swallowed it.
so yeah, that's going to be fun, isn't it? And when I originally spoke to Aid about this adventure, it was kind of like there was two things that was on my mind. One was that, and we've mentioned this before, that 70s cowboy movie, the Valley of with the dinosaurs,
Land of the Lost.
Yeah, it's called something, the Valley of Durango or something bizarre like that. Yeah, and so yeah, cowboys and dinosaurs. It's always a cool fit. And also, I was a big fan of 2000 AD back in the day, and there was a comic strip in that which was about hunting dinosaurs. And there was a famous one-eyed mutant kind of dinosaur that I forgot what it's called now. I'm sure people will know. So yeah, fun, lots of fun.
Cool. And that's that's what the art is accompanying.
Yeah.
Cameron's adventure. Let's take a look. The Bones by Aid Smith. Breach Birth, written by Cameron Lyle. In the days following the appearance of a strange aurora in the sky, something has gone wrong for a flesh crafter in Highway Market. The truth of what's happening could send shockwaves through all of Wind River Valley. Can the heroes unravel the mystery and save the flesh crafter's life before personal tragedy transforms the very land itself forever? Breach Birth is an adventure, action, and mystery designed for heroes of season rank or higher. It takes place over 3 acts and can be played from with or without the adventure deck. During the adventure, heroes will travel from Highway Market to the Hanging Rocks to save a flesh crafter's life, finding themselves pitted against the belligerent agents of the Phoenix State and their superior technology. So, after the showdown, the heroes catch a glimpse of the mysterious Zeza and must evade their oh, well, it's right there in the Kickstarter.
So. That's not a spoiler.
No, it's okay.
Must evade their predations long enough to return and save the boon wielder's life before breach energies build inside him to an explosive conclusion. So
yeah, we've seen a draft of this one. It's going to be a banger.
Yeah. So it's a lot of fun. We're on Kickstarter right now. Let's look at the stretch goals. If we can make 3,600, much more of John's beautiful artwork and photography in the book. And if we get to $4,600 or 4,000 Great British pounds for those of you across the pond.
Yeah, depending on which way the pound goes against the dollar at the moment in time, which is awful. But yeah.
Or 12 million rubles.
Yeah.
5
Yeah.
weird and wonderful alien remnants straight from the scientific notes of Ally Morgan is what happens at 4,600. And then more to follow.
You never know.
So, yeah. So, fun stuff happening right now. What do you guys think will be next for the after this? Do we have any, ideas percolating on the back burner?
Well, I mean, Cameron is a new adventure writer for us, and he's expressed interest in doing more adventures. There are other adventure writers out there who've expressed an interest in doing other things.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Davenport, I think, is one. He's done a few things in the past for Savage Worlds, and he's also expressed an interest in potentially taking it beyond Wyoming. So he's shared a few kind of adventure ideas. One which is a crazy ass one set in Las Vegas, which has kind of like a little bit of a what was that film called? The zombie one that in Vegas, the recent one.
Yeah, it was.
You know which one I mean.
Mm-hmm.
That was a Snyder movie, right?
Yeah. Anyway, it's got a slight whiff of that about it, I think.
Army of the Dead.
That's the one. Yeah, a little bit of whiff of that, but he's also talked about potentially doing something again completely outside the region. So yeah, and Sean, I'm sure, has got lots of cool ideas.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of places we can go with this, especially depending on how the plot point campaign ends up. I know that in everyone's home game there will be different endings to the campaign. We'll kind of probably have a canon ending, if you will, that will allow us to push forward with adventures. But yeah, I've definitely not run out of ideas for the after yet.
Okay, all right. What's happening in Indiana, your home state, during this fictional timeline in the after?
Well, probably nothing good. But that's art imitating life, right? Oh, it's so cold out here right now.
I understand that. It might be colder where I'm at, but I hear you. So, anyway, Tales from the Trail Volume 2 on Kickstarter right now. We're in for about, how many more days we got, John?
Not many. I think it's about 18 more days.
Yep, 17 more days to go.
17 more days, yeah.
A little more over 2 weeks. So this is a good time to jump on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
And appreciate you tuning in. Do we have any closing thoughts before we wrap things up?
Share the love with new fans. As well as the basic kind of PDF and print version of Tales from the Trail Volume 2. There's also an all-in pledge, which gives you after the main core book, Tales of the Trail version 1 and Volume 1, and Tales from the Trail Volume 2. So that's a good chunk of products for a new starter, and they're getting it at less than half the price you would if you were to buy it all from Drive-Thru RPG. So it's a good deal.
That's a very good place.
That's a lot of material.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, hey, we should mention we are working with Fantasy Grounds, and we now have Fantasy Grounds support for Tales from the Trail Volume 1.
Yeah. And they will also, if we are successful with Volume 2, they'll be doing Volume 2 for us.
Yeah, you can see our Steam page right here where we're selling it. So reduces the storyteller's work just a whole bunch, man. Doing it on Fantasy Grounds makes it, super easy. So
yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, check it out. Beautiful thing. Thanks to our partners at Fantasy Grounds, and hopefully they bring Tales from the Trail Volume 2 there. So
yeah, absolutely
cool stuff. So, all right, Sean, any closing thoughts?
Well, I mean, for folks that are maybe interested in the mechanics that are going into the book, I'm going to try and leverage the new Adventure Edition social conflict rules, as well as there's potential, depending on the choices you make, for a big mass combat scenario.
Oh, how could that happen?
Spoilers. But based on something that was in one of the adventure readouts we did, there is a reappearance of the Phoenix State in a big way in this plot point campaign.
You gotta love him. You gotta love the Phoenix State.
The bad guys we saw back in the first book, for those of you that maybe ran the Shadow of the Phoenix adventure. I know I ran that back at Gen Con in 2019. Yep, we get to see those guys again.
Sweet. All right, good news. All right, so check us out on Kickstarter. Check us out on Steam for Fantasy Grounds. And anything else, guys, or can we wrap it up?
That's good for me.
All right, cool. Thanks for checking out the Banff podcast, and we will check you next time. Take care.